Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Have you ever wondered what games you should sell or you should use? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Find out on our top 10 list what games you cannot miss. Don't forget to subscribe to Purge Reviews.
Voodoo Mania. The mania surrounding the voodoo. It's funny to me. I don't want to be controversial here, but it's funny to me that voodoo has hung on as long as it has. Is it not the American Gothic, the voodoo? I think of voodoo, I think of like Louisiana, I think of The Princess and the Frog. I did say that. So this is a game with a voodoo pasted on theme, but really what you're doing, it plays a lot like set, where you're looking at different shapes that could be different colors, and which color and which set is missing. I have seen a ton of games like this. Barnyard Critters, set. It's almost a reverse of set, I guess, but you're going to get a card, what's missing and what color is missing. So which item is missing and which color. And you have a little legend. I think with set it's a little bit easier because it's just shapes, where this is like voodoo things. What were the 5 things again? Oh, I have this card. That's handy to look at. Where shapes like triangles, squares, circles, squiggly lines, you immediately pick it up, and the colors are fairly easy. If you're colorblind, you're not going to be playing this game at all. And it probably lasts a little bit longer than it needs to. There's a lot of cards to go through, and they want you to go through it 3 times. No way. 1 time only. Do you hear me? You don't want to play this 3 times in a row. It's not really a game you're going to play to score. It's more of like a mental exercise. I put it on the level of like Sudoku, but probably not as complicated. Like, you're just playing it to kind of get your mind going, and that's about it. The rule book the box says 10 minutes. I don't know how you get through the deck 3 times that quickly, but perhaps. 2 to 6 players. I don't know why you want to play it with anyone, but perhaps you said somebody has to like this sort of game. It's just not for me. The box is much bigger than it needs to be. You could really put this in a much smaller bag, and maybe that would bring the appeal of it up a little bit. Not that the box is all that big anyway. The theme is 100% pasted on and has no bearing whatsoever. I'm going to go ahead and purge this one and get rid of it. I don't have a need for it in my collection. I don't think I ever played this. I think the game would scratch the same itch, or set, or any other game. But I don't know. I think I'd rather do something else than play a game like this. So for me, Voodoo Mania, right out the door, purge. Here are the components for Voodoo Mania. Ready, set, curses. Okay, so this plays 2 to 6 people, plays in about 10 minutes. You are going to get a deck of cards and a box that is way too big, which is standard in board games. You're going to get cards that have a bunch of... here's some voodoo cards. Let's set these... we get a number of these. Let's set those aside for now. And you get a bunch of cards that just have icons on them in different colors. The icons are always, the colors and the shapes and stuff are different. They're very deep black to set the mood of Voodoo Mania. You get a lot of cards here. They're pretty easy to shuffle. They're good quality. I like the way they feel. They're double-sided. But that's Voodoo Mania. That's all you get. You get a box that's too big and some cards. Voodoo Mania is an extremely simple game. The rules are pretty simple. There's 2 ways you can play cards. That's it. Boom, out of here. You'll have no problem with the rules. You can get them down in 2 or 3 minutes max.
game is played is you will see there are 5 different types of ingredients and 5 different colors. So you will see what is missing here is the voodoo doll. What color is missing is blue. So blue voodoo doll. Everybody gets one of these just for a reference. So I've identified that a blue voodoo doll is missing. So everybody's going to have a hand of, they're going to split up the number of cards in the deck based on how many the rules say. So you're going to get a whole deck of these, and then you will have a hand of cards. So I can look in the front and the back, and I can do one of 2 things. I can play a card that has what's missing. When I do, I play this down, and I say voodoo. And what you're trying to do is get rid of all your cards. You want to be the one that gets rid of your cards. Now, what everybody does, the card I just played, they start looking for what's missing here. And just for reference, for your sake, you can now see the bottle is missing. And it is yellow, so we'd be looking for that. So that continues on, and that's the game. The second thing you can do is I can look for a card that's also missing the yellow. It's this. This is missing it. And I throw that down and I yell, voodoo. Then everybody pulls one of the cards under here and sticks it under their deck, thus adding a card to their deck. Otherwise, you're just trying to get rid of cards in your hand. The game's pretty simple. It reminds me a lot of Set. It reminds me a lot of just identifying colors, and they're changing them up, making it wacky. It's a very light game that you'd play with nearly anyone that likes this sort of thing. And it plays a lot like Set, like I said. So that's pretty much the game. Just keep going, keep going, keep going, and trying to get rid of the cards in your hand.
Buy this game. Anybody looking, plays up to 6. That's appealable. Plays in 10 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes. That's appealable. I think that people who like these kind of like, I just want to throw some cards down, have a conversation. It's a frantic race type thing. You can play it like that if you want to take it really seriously. Otherwise, it's so light and so filler. It's kind of hard. Like it's almost like everybody fits in there because who doesn't mind playing a little small 10-minute game? And you need a few of these. It's just not going to have very much bite to it. If you're looking for something more, this isn't going to be it. So I would say probably try this before you get it. If it's cheap enough, just go ahead and grab it if it seems like something that would be appealing to you. But for me, it's going to be Purged and moving right on out that door.